This is a weekly summary of interesting news that is relevant for my distributed systems lecture. My name is Thomas Bocek, and today I have 5 topics to talk about. The first topic is about NAND flash prices and storage technology development. In lecture 1, we saw that hardware gets faster and cheaper, and this trend continues. We have two interesting developments in this space. First, NAND flash prices are experiencing a significant decline due to oversupply in the market, and this oversupply situation has led manufacturers to cut production to balance the market. The data center sector, particularly for AI infrastructure, continues to drive demand for high capacity storage solutions. Industry analysts expect memory orders to recover in Q2 2025, especially due to AI infrastructure requirements. The second development is also exciting. SanDisk has announced plans for a petabyte scale SSD, and the roadmap includes progression from current 128 terabyte capacities to 256 to 512 terabyte and eventually reaching 1 petabyte drives. And here my point is, these developments have implications for how we design and implement distributed systems. The decreasing cost and increasing capacity of storage technology change our approach to data distribution and replication strategies. The petabyte scale SSDs will enable new architectural patterns in distributed systems, potentially reducing the complexity of current storage solutions. However, it's important to remember that hardware improvements alone don't solve the distributed systems challenge. We still need to address issues like network limitations with latency and fault tolerance. The next topic is about hardware problems at a cloud company. And this story teaches us an important lesson about hardware failures in distributed systems. A company started to using new servers from Hetzner called AX162, and these servers were cheaper and seemed more powerful than the old ones, but they soon ran into big problems. The new servers kept crashing. The old servers had about one crash per year, but the new ones were crashing 16 times more often. And the team tried to find out what's wrong. They checked if the servers are too hot, if they were working too hard, if specific parts were broken, and how much power the servers were using. At first, nothing explained the crashes, but they noticed something interesting. Once a server crashed, it would likely crash again soon. After working with Hetzner for months, they found out that the motherboards, the main part of the computer, were faulty. Even after getting new motherboards, they still had problems until they got a newer version that finally fixed the issue. And why is this important for distributed systems? This story shows us that hardware can and will fail. And this is exactly why we design distributed systems, to keep working even when some computers fail. The next topic is huge. It's about a security problem at a crypto company called Bybit. Bybit just lost about 1.5 billion US dollars worth of cryptocurrency in what might be the biggest cryptocurrency theft ever. And here's what happened. The company was moving digital money, ethers, from their offline storage cold wallet to their online storage hot or warm wallet when things went wrong. Someone tricked them by making a fake address look like the real one and then took control of their storage. The attackers stole 401,000 ethers. Security experts think it might have been done by a group called Lazarus. The good news is that Bybit says they can cover this loss and keep working normally. In my opinion, this is what they always say. FTX did this as well, so I'm skeptical about this. And this event is now the biggest cryptocurrency theft in history, bigger than the previous famous case like Mt. Gox with 470 million US dollars and the Ronin Bridge with 650 million US dollars. After the huge theft, people started to discuss whether it is possible or whether they should roll back the Ethereum blockchain, basically turning back the time to before the theft happened. This was done once before in 2016 when about 60 million US dollars were stolen in the DAO, and it actually split Ethereum into two different versions, Ethereum and Ethereum Classic. Now with 1.5 billion US dollars stolen, Bybit's CEO said that it isn't a decision one person can make and maybe the community should vote on it. Meanwhile, the company is offering a reward of up to 140 million US dollars to anyone who helps get the money back. And other companies are helping by blocking the stolen money from being used. I personally don't think that Ethereum will roll back their chain. Arkham Intelligence showed with forensic graphs and timing analysis that behind the hack is the Lazarus Group. Lazarus Group is a hacker group made up by an unknown number of individuals alleged to be run by the government of North Korea. However, the details of the hack are not known, and I'm curious how such a mistake of sending ethers to the wrong address could happen. More cryptocurrency news in the next topic. This story shows how quickly things can go wrong in the cryptocurrency market. Argentina's President Javier Milei, I hope I pronounced this correctly, promoted a new digital coin called Libra on social media. After this message, the coin's value shot up incredibly fast. It was worth 4.4 billion US dollars at its peak, but things went bad just as quick. Here's what happened. After the president promoted the coin, its price went up by 2000% in just 40 minutes. But then some early investors started selling their coins really fast. In just 7 hours, the coin lost almost all its value and people lost about 4.5 billion US dollars. The president later deleted his message and said he didn't know the details of the project before promoting it. What makes this interesting is how fast everything happened, both the rise and the fall. Lots of regular people bought the coin while a small number of people sold it. Here they started to sell. This was the insider cash out, so they gained roughly 90 million US dollars. And here Libra erased around 4.4 billion US dollars of market capitalization. So lots of regular people bought the coin while a small number of people sold. And I found this graph here on this tweet. As we discussed meme coins in the blockchain lecture, this is a classic pump and dump scheme. A group of people buy lots of coins to make the price go really fast up. So that's the pump. And they often get famous people to promote it, so others will buy in too. And once the price is very high, they sell everything quickly. That's the dump, making lots of money while everyone else loses theirs. And people who buy the coin early, they're also called snipers because they are waiting right at the start when they can actually buy the coin, and they use special computer programs to buy coins the exact second the coin becomes available, before regular people can even click with their mouse. There's even a bigger twist in the story. Blockchain detectives at a company called Bubble Maps found out that Libra coin might be connected to another similar coin called Melania that had the same kind of quick rise and fall in January. By looking at the trail of digital money movements, they found that the same person or group might be behind both coins. They followed the money through different crypto wallets and found that someone who made 2.4 million US dollars from the Melania coin later moved money to help start the Libra coin. The investigators think that this same group might also be controlling several other coins too. And a well-known crypto YouTuber, CoffeeZilla, this guy here, sheds more light on this case and even interviewed the snipers that were involved in the Libra and Melania coin. Interestingly, they proposed to add 100 million US dollars back to the pool with a multi-sig transaction with this investigator here. In my opinion, this smells like they wanted to further pump and dump the coin with the help of this YouTuber here. But that's just my opinion. Because of all this, now President Milei is now facing fraud charges, even though he says he didn't know what was really going on with the coin before he promoted it. The last story is about BitTorrent. It's the following story here, which we covered last year. So we covered Bitcoin in the last year's lecture. And this topic is about how big tech companies use file sharing networks, specifically about Meta, the company behind Facebook, and how they downloaded books to train their AI. Meta admitted to using something called torrenting to download huge collections of books. Torrenting is used to share files, and instead of just downloading from one central server, you get pieces of the file from many different computers that use the same software client. There are two important roles in torrenting. I also talk about this in the lecture. There are leechers who download files and seeders who share files with others after downloading them. Meta claims they only downloaded the books, being a leecher, but they didn't share them afterwards, being a seeder. And this case highlights an interesting legal aspect of file sharing that varies by country. In some places like Switzerland, downloading copyrighted material for personal use is actually legal, only the distribution, uploading, sharing is not. That's why Meta's argument about not seeding is particularly interesting from a legal perspective. They are trying to argue they only downloaded, which might be legal in some jurisdictions, but they didn't distribute. And for Switzerland, I found this here. I'm not a legal expert, but here it says on the Swiss info site, as before the revision, consumers can download or stream content such as films and music made available online without the copyright holder's consent. They won't face a penalty so long as the content is for private use. That's it for this week. Lots of interesting things happened this week. See you next week.